Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to bring this very special show to you today. I got a very special guest in here, my very good friend. It's a lot of varies. Tim Quirk here, founder, CEO of Rhode Sense, a logistics company specializing in transportation solutions for the household goods and just general commercial freight industry. Tim's a really good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. Really loving watching your journey and everything you're getting into. Tim, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Ben. I'm really excited.
You flew all the way in here from Rochester, New York,
yeah,
man.
great to be in, what do they call this? Glomo HQ,
Yeah,
DFW.
Yeah, Glomo HQ, DFW, all the acronyms. Get in the comments. I want to hear from you. Give you a shout out there, so get in there. We're talking transportation, we're talking household goods, we're talking innovation, we're talking entrepreneurship, all the things. Tim and I worked together, oh gosh, like 12 years ago, probably.
Seems like a lot longer than that.
Yeah, those were some formative years. We were telling some stories about this last night at dinner, and we don't got to get into all the stories unless you guys want us to. But I learned a lot from those times.
Me too.
They were challenging, though.
Yep.
It's funny how you learn like so much more, like 10 times more from the challenges, the failures, the times you stubbed your toe or made a fool out of yourself or whatever than you do from your successes.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when you succeed, a lot of times it's easy.
Yeah.
You know, and even times when you succeed, but it's hard, it's a hard fought, then it's still kind of like a loss. You know, but then you succeed in the end. But it's really important to go over what you learn when you lose and what you learn when you fail.
Yeah, and it's hard because you got to kind of stop yourself and you got to say, okay, what's the takeaway here? I know this sucks in the moment and just I'm hurting right now and I'm embarrassed and I'm ticked off and whatever. But like pause and just say, okay, let me unpack this and what can I take away from this? And that's something we've adopted here at Glomo, talking about like, okay, we just got better. Like that's kind of what we say when something doesn't go our way. I say, okay, we just got better. Let's find that win in there. And yeah. Hit that like button, get in the comments. I want to know what questions you have about entrepreneurship, about transportation. We're going to talk all about it. We've got people checking in here. Christian Ternedden checking in from freezing Orange County, California. 71 Fahrenheit, he says.
Woo!
You're wild. You're so funny. Adrian Grimes, so good having you in Dallas at Glomo HQ, Tim. Team loves you, man.
Thank you, Adrian.
It's good having you here. Hosea Botley. Hello, Ben and Tim.
He's a powerhouse right there, Hosea.
Yeah, Hosea's doing it out there.
He is.
He's another entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, I consider myself so blessed to have like so many really cool entrepreneurs around me in my life that have kind of mentored me or been those sounding boards for me. Do you have people like that in your life where, you know, you feel like you can go to and you can bounce ideas off of, or that you observe and you say, okay, this is maybe how I should do it?
Yeah, I do. And I was thinking the other day when an issue came up and I was reaching out looking for advice, and I started thinking, boy, I hope it's not a one way. You know, I hope that like the people that I reach out to feel like maybe they could reach out to me. Maybe they can't. Maybe they're a lot smarter than me, and that's why I reach out to them. Yeah. But yeah, it's so.
What types of people do you like to mentor?
Anybody that's willing to, you know, that has a passion, has conviction towards that passion, and if there's anything I can do to help, you know.
Yeah, mentorship's funny because I feel like a lot of times we think of it as a one-way street. We think of it as a very formal arrangement. I find, to your point, it needs to go both ways. I also find that mentee needs to come with good questions. Yeah. They can't just show up with a notebook like, okay, so what do you got for me today? You know, it's not like going to class and the teacher has a syllabus. It's bring me a problem, bring me a challenge. And I actually had something like that happen at Worldwide ERC last week, where you know, a young lady came up to me and she's like, hey, I love what you're doing. I'm really inspired by it. I got the situation at work, you know, she just sat through my session where we talked about career development. And she's like, and this is happening. I'm new to the company. I want to do X, Y, Z. They're not letting me. I have this person who's blocking me. What do you think? You know, we kind of broke it down. I shared a lot of my personal experiences where I've run into the same problems. And it was a really cool session. And she asked me to mentor her, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. But then I'm kind of also thinking, okay, now what? What's going to happen now? Like, what does that mean?
I've already given you everything.
Yeah, that's all I got. Like, that was it, you know. So anyway, get in the comments here. I want to know what your thoughts are on mentorship, entrepreneurship, everything. Susie Savage checking in. Absolutely share those stories. She wants to hear the stories, Tim.
Oh,
The Rhode
Susie.
Sense team is always looking for more info on our fearless leader. What was one of the, like, okay, let's go back.
Okay.
Let's go back.
Okay.
Because people want, it's love and reload, man.
Okay.
We'll get to the transportation solutions. We'll get to all the innovative stuff you're doing today. Do stay tuned for that, but people want to know about you as a person.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about maybe your story and maybe kind of the part maybe where we kind of came together and worked together a little bit. Do you have any memories of those times?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I think.
And this is a safe place, by the way. Nobody's watching.
Oh, okay.
It's very cool.
Nobody's watching.
It's basically like therapy.
Okay. Okay. My name is Tim Quirk, and I have a story to tell.
And today's a good day. Yes.
I mean, I feel like I told this story a million times before, but
But not to these people.
It impact. But I tell that because it impacted me so much. When
Okay.
we came to work together, I came to work with you as part of an acquisition. The company you were working with, 1-800-PAC-RAT, acquired the assets, some of the assets and military authorities
Yep.
of the company I was working with, and I was running the military authorities then. So I came over.
At Hidden Valley Mayflower.
Hidden Valley Mayflower.
And
yeah.
you were out in San Diego.
Yep.
And we acquired the assets of the Temple, Texas branch, Central
Yep.
Texas.
Yep. And so family and I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, Wake Forest.
And you've been living in San Diego at the time.
Been living in San Diego for 15 years at the time.
Yeah.
And came in and showed up, and you and I met.
Did you know what you were getting into at that time? Like, what was your concept of? Because we had met a couple times like PPFs and
Yeah.
everything, like
Yeah.
personal property forums and everything. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't place your name with your face. Like I knew your name, but I couldn't place it.
That's okay.
So people were like, "Oh, Tim knows you," and I'm like, "I know the name, but like I couldn't." So okay, so going
Yeah.
into it, like what was your perception going in, and what was it?
Well, before we get to that, I think you were the reason that your company purchased. You know, because we were in a position at Hidden Valley where we need to sell.
Yeah.
And and quite honestly, knowing you from PPF, I said, well, Ben Cross over at PAC-RAT, I know they're trying to get into the military game. And quite honestly, what I said, and I also heard that they're willing to overpay.
Yeah, we were paying a premium. We were definitely paying a premium.
So
Well, we wanted to get in the game. We didn't know how. We couldn't get in on our own, and so we were gonna we got to buy our way in.
yeah. So I mean, what did I think I was getting into? I thought I was going to go there and basically run the authorities that were purchased from Hidden Valley.
Kind of keep doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but at a new company.
Yeah.
And then what did you actually walk into?
Then I walked into, and you actually were running it, and you had no idea I was even showing up.
Yeah, I didn't really know what the deal was,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
and so
Like I brought the deal to the table, but I wasn't really a part of the mechanics.
brought
of
to
the
the
deal.
table, and then you were set aside.
Yeah, and they just
And then
okay, kid,
right.
go over there and
The deal was worked, and I show up one day, and I don't really know who I'm working for or what what is
Right.
expected of me, which is okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But truly, to make this long story short, you and I were put in a position to not like each other, to
to
fight,
almost like duke it out.
to duke it out,
Yeah.
and kind of a wild west,
Yeah.
old white man's club
Yeah.
kind of thing, and the best man will stay
Yeah.
will stay on top,
Yeah.
and mostly because of you and the person you are, because I didn't, I really didn't know, you knew a lot more about the company than I did,
Yeah,
obviously.
and the culture and
So
everything.
because the person you are, you opened it up and you said, that you didn't vocalize it to me, you didn't say it out loud, but you said to yourself, I'm going to accept this. I'm going to take this opportunity where I know they're trying to make us battle, and we're going to work together.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't too long where we both realized what was going on, and then I think we said,
Yeah.
hey, we're not supposed to be friends. We're
Yeah.
we're not, but let's see what we can do if we do work together.
Yeah.
And how big can we make this?
Well, and you were all. I mean, listen. I loved your knowledge, right? You had so much knowledge of the military side of the business. Like all my knowledge about it was really theoretical at that point because I hadn't actually, operated SCAT codes and run military businesses. So everything I'd learned was, basically by reading the entire, tender of service, the DTOS or whatever. and reading it out of a book, but you had actually operated it. So you had all that knowledge. I had never worked for a moving company at that point, a real deal household goods moving company.
Okay.
I worked at 1-800-PACKRAT and I worked at Pods. I'd never worked at a company where they actually load the truck.
Right.
You know, and like that's a big difference, right? And so all that stuff I was trying to do, and we were doing to some degree, but we didn't really have a lot of processes in place. So you brought a lot to the table that I didn't have, and I think, you know, I think I recognized that pretty quickly, and I was like, if we work together, we could really be. This could be an answer to prayer for me, because now I have someone that's kind of more operationally excellent, process oriented, technical. Also, you brought a really great technical ability with you, and that was something I didn't have either. We were trying to implement systems. So long story short, we worked together. We became really good friends in the process. We did some things that were absolutely incredible. If you look at 1-800-PACKRAT, a containerized moving company, you know, having, I think at the end we had 3 or 4 SCAT codes, you know, basically companies that did business with the military. Yeah. We had probably 5 over-the-road drivers. We converted, we probably had 3 or 4 fully functional military-approved warehouses in Otay Mesa, Temple, Texas, Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. Yeah. We had acquired Hidden Valley. We had acquired Ace Moving and Storage. Sonny, shout out to our boy Sonny Singh out there, who sold us his ARPAN agency and came on board as well. And then I look back at that amazing time too. I mean, we were going through a lot of stuff together, right? And get in the comments here. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Put those questions in there. We were going through a lot of stuff at the time, and it was really hard. But when I look back at that nucleus of folks at PACKRAT at that time, yourself, who's gone on now to start Rhode Sense, right? You know, does tens of millions of dollars of logistics business. I've started Glomo now, which is what it is. Y'all know what that is. Travis Washer at the time was working with us. He actually had a little logistics concern out in Cincinnati. He now works at Dan Van Lines. Yeah. Eric Masadi out there started Forward Freight, which they sold, and now Eric Masadi works as the president of Trailer Bridge. Yep. You know, a big time, you know, probably top 100 transport topics brokerage logistics firm. I feel like I missed. Oh, did we saw? Oh, and Sonny Singh. Sonny Singh went out, took his money that he sold Ace Moving and Storage, and he went out and he used that and leveraged that to get a $12 million loan and buy a government contracting firm for $23 million and parlayed that with a little private equity, and they just sold that thing to was it Computer CSI or CACI or some big time government contractor for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Undisclosed amounts.
We'll
definitely put some numbers out there, but undisclosed.
Hundreds of, you know, and now he's sitting. He retired at 38 years old.
Yeah.
So if you look at the amount of talent that we were playing with on that team, like it was pretty incredible. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. And what we've been able to do. So and I think a lot of that comes from us, you know, iron sharpens iron kind of thing, and just kind of working those late nights and trying to figure out problems and do things that people had never done before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, you know, that's us. But
okay, Susie, there's your story.
You wanted a story, Suze? There you go. I hope
go
you liked
book a couple loads, all right?
Get back to work, Susie. No, just kidding.
Thanks for watching,
Hit that
Susie.
like button. He said, now that we know there are stories, we want to hear them. There you go, Christian. Tell me what you think. What was that story like? Did you learn anything from it? What's the takeaway? Jillian Guzda, happy to have you here in the office. What's up, Jilly? Jilly Beans. Rob Zeitz, hello from Air Inc. in Cambridge. Wicked Smart. And an Ithaca College class of 2000? Oh, 2007? Is that what you got? 2007? Yeah.
92, class of 92 right here. Go Bombers.
Go Bombers. All right. What'd you study in college?
Music performance, trumpet major.
Isn't that crazy? As I was an English major, you were a trumpet major.
Yeah.
And now we both own companies in the, you know, transportation industry.
Yeah. What
does that tell you?
Tells me that's the path.
Like what? Like what's the path? Like everybody can't be a trumpet major. Like what's the path?
Huh?
Like follow
the path.
Follow your
English.
Follow your
passion.
I
mean, follow your passion and
be an artsy fartsy kind of guy, and then follow your heart, and then all of a sudden you're going to end up on top.
Well, I mean, all joking aside, I think music.
Yeah.
I think writing. You know, composition, English composition, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That uses both sides. Both of those use both sides of your brain.
Okay.
Okay. And so if you start that, like I did, I started it when I was 8 or 10 years old, playing. You know, and so I think it helps in developing your brain. And what it number one taught me is how to keep doing something when you fail. Because when you learn a new piece of music, you practice it and you
Yeah,
fail,
you-
and you fail, and it's
You
the
suck
millions of
immediately.
repetition.
Nobody's good at playing a trumpet the first. They can't even blow a note probably the first
No.
they pick it up. And then you learn a new piece of music, you're lost. Get in the comments. I want to know, what did you study in college and what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Put that in there. What was your major and what are you doing? I'm an English major. I'm an entrepreneur. I sold moving for a long time. You were music major.
You call it art if you want.
I mean, it's in the arts.
It's the arts.
Yeah. I'm curious about that. Rob, what did you study at Ithaca? Curious. Ithaca College. Wait, didn't Nafis Chaudhary go to Ithaca College as well?
Maybe.
Somebody tagged Nafis out there because I think he did, because Cornell's in Ithaca, right?
Yeah.
And he was telling me how Ithaca College is like, sits there and looks up at, like, it's on a hill, but it's not on the good hill, and it sits up.
It's on South Hill.
And it looks up at
Ithaca College is on
Cornell,
South Hill.
and you're just like, I'm not in Cornell. Like every day, you're just like, he tells it so brilliantly about, oh my god.
But we spent a lot of time over in Cornell.
You did?
College town, Cornell. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I mean, back when I was a quarter, you could ride the bus. So at the end of the night, if you had a quarter in your
were
pocket,
good.
you get back to the dorm.
You were good. For me, it was $2 in Albany, $2 cab uptown. That's all you needed. Daisy says, Tim, not only the best lighting up our office this week at Global HQ. Yeah, very cool. Mark Colmer, what's up, Colmer? Rhode Sense in the house. Great topic you guys set up. Colmer, get in there. Let me know what you think. Get in the comments here. We got Joshua saying, great stuff. You guys would love to hear about how you have adapted to changes in the industry in the past and what you anticipate for the future. This is an excellent question.
Great question.
Let's get in here and answer this one. Joshua says, how have you adapted to changes in the industry in the past and what do you anticipate in the future?
Well, I mean,
And this goes right into your company.
yeah. We
Like you are the adaptation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Rhode Sense, on the biggest picture, came from seeing that moving and storage companies were more and more increasingly needing to use alternative types of transportation.
Ever since I got in this industry, they talked about driver shortage.
Yeah,
Forever. Yeah. And it's not changing. It's not getting better.
exactly. And what we do is, and we used to, when we first started, I came out and said, we're solving the driver shortage. Okay. The only issue with that in household goods moving is the driver does a lot more than just drive the truck.
Yes.
Okay, so that was something that people that weren't in our industry could understand real quickly when they see, you see a business card or see a logo. They say, oh, okay, makes sense. They're solving the driver shortage. But really, we just solve lift, right? We transport the goods.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that part of that half of the driver shortage we've taken care of. We've solved. The other half, the labor, that's too big for me to solve.
Yeah. Well, it's too big and too fragmented and disparate. And you need one truck on a job. You need, 3, 4, men on either side to pack and load, right? So yeah. But I mean, if you can solve that, but think about this: if we can solve the terminal to terminal or door to door transportation issue, then all of those drivers who are phenomenal, who spend half of their time or more behind the wheel, windshield time, whatever, can now be focused on working at the terminal level, packing and loading shipments into third-party transportation, whether it be containerized or loose loaded or intermodal or whatever, and that almost unlocks some capacity right there, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And then also continuing with the change, right? Then as we saw, the COD market, the corporate market with COVID, the relocations went way down.
Yep.
So then we have since gotten into general freight.
Wow.
Anything from solar panels to electric car batteries to pumpkins to Christmas trees, that kind of. So we started niched and we kind of grew up with niches are in the riches, or the riches are in the niches,
or the riches are in the niches.
Yeah, riches and niche. I think that's how they say it in Dallas.
In France.
But so seeing that, we were 99% household goods when we started, a measly 4 years ago. Now we're about 50% household goods, 50% general freight.
50-50.
Yeah.
That's incredible. But you still have that niche though in household goods.
Still have the niche, yeah. and we have great customers that come to us and rely, I hope rely on us,
Yeah.
see us as a trusted source to help them, in alternative or in
Well,
one-off situations.
I think they do because you work with the largest shippers in the world, and they do, and they come to you not only for peak season capacity and alternative capacity, but I think what's interesting is your alternative is almost becoming a primary for a lot of folks and a lot of shipment types.
I mean, there's certainly benefits, right? There's with Rhode Sense, there's 0 blackout dates. Okay.
Wow.
And
So you can basically, that means a shipper can always get the date they want.
always get the date they want.
And they can always get the delivery they want too?
A lot of times we're delivering too fast.
Right. Well, and that's always been the complaints for so many years, right, in the household goods industry. It's like, okay, I'm going to move from Denver to Dallas. I can drive that in 2 days with my family. I'm behind the minivan. I'm driving my family. I get there in 2 days. How come it's going to take 4 to 9 days for my household goods, traditional household goods shipment to get there? I've been hearing that since I got into this business. I mean, I heard it in the containerized business too. How do you solve that? How do you make it too fast?
Well, we're not irregular route.
How are you Jimmy John's freaky fast and freight?
We're not irregular. So moving and storage is irregular routed shipments.
What does that mean?
So the first shipment on the truck is the last shipment off. Okay.
Oh, because it's like buried in the nose of the truck.
Right. So first one packs, loads the truck, then driver drives somewhere. They load maybe another. It could be 3-4 shipments on a truck, and then they got to go to that. The last one loaded is the first one that gets delivered. And there are limits, as we all know, on how much a driver can drive during the day. And if I have a driver that says, let's say, lives in Dallas or lives somewhere in Texas, and they're going from San Diego out to Jacksonville, they may want to stop at home over the weekend.
No, you can't stop at home.
And spend time with their family because they haven't seen them in 3 months,
Never.
right? And there's nothing wrong with that because these are great professionals that have skills that fewer and fewer people have now.
Yeah.
Okay? But what Rhode Sense is our drivers, they're just drivers. They take great care of the equipment. They treasure what they're hauling, the pride that they take in their trailer and what's in it is amazing. But their goal, they're on a more of a, if my tires aren't rolling, I'm not making money. Whereas the household good driver, there's already a line haul a percentage that he's going to make.
Yeah, and frankly, they're counting on spending 2-3 days in the home, at origin. Yeah, for sure, and it's a great question. Keep the questions coming. I love these questions. But yeah, I mean, I think yours is an example. Rhode Sense is a perfect example of seeing an opportunity in the market for being in it for a couple decades and saying, hey, I see a gap in the marketplace. I'm going to come in here with some innovative solutions. I mean, what I like about it is, yeah, we've been doing crate and freight for a long time. Yeah, we've been doing, as they say, code 2 or crate and freight. Obviously, every international shipment moves in a container intermodally, right? But I also love that you've brought in a loose load option. So not only do you have to, do you have the option of containerizing the shipment in a lift van, but they can load it directly onto a truck.
They can.
And still have exclusive use of that truck, that whole truck. They get to use the entire truck. So you're not commingling a shipment.
Exactly.
I think that is really innovative. Customers have been asking for that type of security and dedicated environment for a long time, as well as the transit times that you get with that. I got to ask you though, how much of a premium is there for that type of exclusive use, dedicated use of a truck and direct delivery, like in 1 day, 2 day, 3 day?
Well, again, it was, when we started 4 years ago, it was a huge premium.
Really?
It was, a huge premium. But now, as things change, as the market changes, we, because we used to only be able to have 53-foot trucks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you had a 5,000-pound shipment and you wanted to use it, well, it was going to be the only 5,000 pounds in that 53-foot trailer, which can hold 30,000, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But now, since there are a lot of 26-foot box trucks that are on the market now, and they fit even if you're not great at density and building tiers like our great van operators are, you can get 7,500 pounds in one of those. So
Wow.
even if it's only a 5,000 pound shipment, you're not wasting a lot of space. We can also provide them equipped. Okay,
If you need equipped, what does that mean?
Equipped meaning pads, moving blankets. Some people like to call them pads, straps.
Wow.
Build your tiers, strap them down, build another tier, strap it.
Yeah.
But some of our customers prefer just to do it like an international move, and they'll paper pad it,
Sure.
and strap it like that. So it's we can do either option.
Now, what type? And I want to get to more of these questions. Keep the questions coming here. I see people with their college majors in here.
Yeah, I love
we
it.
got a lot of trumpet going on here in the comments here. We're much.
Julian.
Is it trumpeter or trumpeteer?
Jillian, trumpeter, right? Trumpeteer.
Well, you don't toot her horn, okay? Listen, she can toot her own horn. You like that? That's when you know you're a dad. You got 2 kids when you start making stuff like
those
that.
are
You say,
terrible.
hey, let's go.
Terrible.
What type of customers are using these transportation modes you offer?
We have done everything from COD to corporate clients to relocation management companies.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
So
the whole segment.
So everything from residential to corporate relocation transferees, huh? Mm-hmm. And corporate relocation transferees, I mean, they're kind of the fussiest ones, right? And so you're getting a lot of traction there, I bet.
We are.
That day definite delivery thing, to me, I don't see movers selling this enough. We always talk about how much price pressure we're under in our industry and how, you got to do it cheaper. You got to do it, every year. Every year they want to shave money off. Meanwhile, costs are rising. Labor costs are rising. Fuel, everything seems to be going up, on the macro. Inflation, yada, yada. Boxes, all the things. Rubber, tires, things, right? But yet every time I turn around, they want to lower the price.
Yeah.
But what I don't see is people being smart and saying, how can I sell more value? So like as a person that has, some discretionary income, like sometimes I pay extra to get it there faster.
Yeah.
And, gosh, you look at FedEx has been doing this forever. They're like, do you want it there this afternoon? Do you want it overnight on the next airplane leaving? Do you want it ground 2-day? Do you want it ground 3-day? Do you want it slow as can be? And I feel like there's an opportunity from a household goods standpoint because you look, they're incurring costs when they go into temp living. They're incurring costs where they can't work at their next office or duty station. Like there's so much cost that goes into being slow with the household goods that to me it feels like there's a major miss in our industry for not selling this day definite delivery, this expedited. That's because that's really what you're offering is expedited shipping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What's our differentiator? It is the great people at Rhode Sense, the customer service they provide.
Yeah.
It is, no blackouts, day certain delivery, day certain loading, and those are differentiators.
Yeah, they're huge.
Right? And we need those because when my truck shows up in front of your house or to your warehouse, it may not be the prettiest looking thing. Mm-hmm. It may just be a white trailer.
It's just gonna be white, right?
It's gonna be a white trailer. It's not gonna have,
It's not gonna say Glomo van line.
No, we're not gonna say Glomo van lines and have some spinning, hubcaps or whatever those things
we
are
got
called.
spinners. We got spinners on our
It's not gonna have any of that.
We got 18 spinners on our.
But you know what? It's gonna have air ride suspension.
Yeah.
The floors are gonna be nice and clean.
Yeah.
Your stuff's gonna go in there and it's gonna get
sure
directly to your location.
All right, let's get in here. Let's see what we got going on here. Susie wants to be on the record saying I'm actively tracking and booking and closing loads. She just for the record.
I knew that.
Okay. Linda Botley, what's going on?
Hey, Linda.
Hey, Linda, what's up? Let's see here. Christian saying, what's your take on the driver shortage due to drivers retiring?
Yeah, unfortunately, moving and storage is a very multi-generational business, and I think that a lot of current owner-operators that are close to retirement age, their children are not looking to follow in the family footsteps.
Yeah. I agree. I think also, are they retiring? Are they switching? Are they going to work for Walmart? If they can get guaranteed $87,000 a year working at Walmart, maybe they take that. Maybe it's 6 figures now. I don't know. That's what it was like right going into the pandemic. So I mean, I think there's some of that, right? There's like switching. I think there's a major opportunity, Christian, to remarket the idea of a driver. We look at young people today, and I look at all the desire to be digital nomads. Like driving is a digital nomad dream job.
It is. It is.
You know, you're making your own schedule. You're taking the loads you want. You're all over the country. You can literally sleep in your truck. You got basically an apartment in your truck, and you could see the whole. You can see the country, the world. I think we're not marketing it right.
Yeah, I mean, in some of those trucks, I mean, my younger brother had an apartment in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And some of these trucks are bigger than that apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, the living areas and the sleeper areas. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that person is the perfect fit to be a Rhode Sense driver.
Yeah.
That's a perfect fit.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Great questions. Let's see. Rob said, I said, what'd you study? He said, music and English writing can move people, and so do Ben and Tim.
Yeah.
There you go. I like it, man.
Nice.
Christian says, what is this? Trumpeters and English teachers can both make noise. Oh my gosh.
All right.
This is great. We got a lot of
like the positive
dads out
responses.
there.
Thank you.
Rob says film major, and now I turn cost of living data into stories for clients.
Nice.
I mean, we laugh. It's funny, but like there's real applications here. Christian linguistics and English, University of Zurich, 1998. I like these English majors here.
Yeah.
Mary Beth Pastor, fashion merchandising and now transportation.
Yeah. Another one of the great team members at Rhode Sense.
What's up, Mary Beth? Jillian says business administration. She's the only one doing anything with it. HR management, concentration, and currently a recruiter. Thanks, Jill. Now you're just showing off. Jill, were you a trumpeter, though?
Yeah. Jill, you should be playing music.
Are we tooting the
about
wrong
this
horn
recruiting thing? Tooting the
Seriously,
wrong horn.
David Yakum, industrial engineering.
Hey, David.
Was a draftsman for a year and then kidnapped by the industry for 40 years. He's a POW. Yeah, David worked with us.
Yeah, he was on that. He was in some of those war room sessions.
I'm going to tell you a funny story about David.
Yeah, please do.
I hope, David, if you're still watching, love you, man. I'd come into work, and we were working so hard. We were working like 7 to 7. We'd come in on weekends sometimes. We're just trying to make this thing work, you know? And David came in, and David would be irritated with me sometimes because he wanted to do things, you know, the right way.
Sure.
And I'd want to be innovative.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, let's think differently. He's like, Ben, there's a way to move household goods. I'm like, yeah, but what if let's think outside the box here, you know? And he'd come in, he'd just look at me, and he would say, you know what, today, you're top of the prayer list today, Ben. You're top of the prayer list.
That poor guy, he had to say so many extra prayers when he worked there
Oh
because
my
of
God.
all of us.
He would show up to work late because he was praying for me. You know? I said, David, you can't take an hour and a half lunch. He said, I was praying for you, boss. I said, all right, David, thank you so much. No, David, I love you, man. We would battle, but David, that was the meanest thing he always said to me was, I'm gonna have to pray for you today.
Yeah.
So appreciate.
Yeah,
your
but you know,
prayers, man.
David, you know, Ben did win a Cardis Award when he was thinking outside the box.
We won a Silver Innovation Cardis Award.
Yeah. So.
By the way,
Your prayers must have worked, David.
You know, yes, and you know why we won it?
I don't.
Because this English major wrote a killer proposal.
There you go.
Because you know all these awards are self-nominated, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't they be?
Yeah. So I put together a pretty sweet one. Mark Colmer was an exercise physiology. I see it.
Oh yeah.
It's built like a brick house.
Brick house.
Brick house.
Don't play tag football with him. I'm telling you right now.
No, is he one of those guys that tackles when you're playing two-hand?
I don't know. I've never played it.
Weren't you a linebacker or something, Colmer? What's going on? Travis Washer says, I didn't go to college, but in the military, I was a firefighter on an aircraft carrier. Now I'm moving in storage industry where you're fighting fires every day, I'm sure.
Travis, did you ever have a sailboat go aground?
Now talk about your interest in sailing real quick. Why you asked that question?
So I race sailboats on Lake Ontario in the summer months in Western New York. And so when I found out that Travis had a sailboat when he was at Pack Rat.
Or was it Pack Rat or Pods? Might have been Pods back in the day in Tampa.
Yeah, in Tampa.
When I was living in Tampa.
It was at Pack Rat when I found out.
Me and him were buddies in Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we were talking about it, and then one day he told a story about how it went aground, and I was really, because I'm kind of thinking more of a Lake Ontario shoreline, which is not real forgiving, a lot of rocks and that kind of thing. where he, was in the ocean or maybe the bay.
It was like the bay. It was Tampa Bay. He was
And
in
the
Tampa Bay.
sandbar. So he was able to go aground and then walk to shore. I was worried that, like, oh my God, did the Coast Guard come out?
Bro,
I thought it was going to be such a
They
great.
hit a sandbar and they were waiting for the tide to come up to pull it. Tell me if I'm lying, Travis. To raise the thing out of the sandbar, but it was stuck. So now they're in the water and they're like waist deep, and it's getting dark now, and they're standing in waist deep water, and they wait for the Coast Guard to come rescue them, right? Yeah. And in this boat, they get rescued, and then now they got this boat, and it's in the water, and they got a week to pull this thing out of the water before they start like getting like fined or some bad things happen, right? And so Travis, I see Travis, he's like, man, I just hope an osprey builds a nest in that mast. He's like, it'll be protected. I won't have to move it.
It's still there today. Thank you, Osprey.
Oh my gosh, Travis, what did that cost to get rid of that sailboat, man? He had a couple boats, man. Yeah, they say the best day of a boat owner's life is the day they sell the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2 best days, day you buy it, day you sell it.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Emma says, you gotta love the Coast Guard. Yeah, for real. Shout out to our coasties.
Emma, another fine Rhode Sense employee.
What up?
Husband is in the Coast Guard.
Yeah,
they're stationed down in Georgetown, South Carolina.
very cool. Appreciate your service, Emma.
I think PCS the next summer.
Christian says the rising tide lifts all boats. Didn't lift this one. I'll tell you what.
Must had a wing keel, and that thing was just in deep.
It was like, yeah, it was wedged. Tanger says, looking great, Ben. Thank you so much. Jillian, I was a trumpet player, the only instrument I ever learned. Well, it's a good instrument.
It's a good instrument.
Mark Colmer, there are plenty of drivers across the transportation industry. They all do not want to load the trucks. Yeah, it's not, driving the truck is one thing.
Yeah.
Getting out and busting your hump in the summer, it's like hot. People are complaining, like, that's kind of for the birds, man.
Yeah. But it's, but there's people that will do that. There's people that want to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Because of what it affords them free time maybe in the winter. It allows them to, not have to have a gym membership. They're working out at their job all day, every day. So there are people that, it's not like nobody wants to do the heavy lifting anymore.
Yeah, Colmer, would you want to lift? Colmer's in good shape.
Colmer wouldn't even break a sweat. He could pack and load 15,000 pounds and not even break a sweat.
My dad's checking in and says, love seeing Tim.
Oh,
what's up, Dad?
Good seeing you.
Dan in Tulsa. Janet says, I sell alternative domestic moves all day, every day. There are some deliverable downsides. There's some downsides with certain drivers who lose their patience when the team is unloading.
There are, and we, that's our job. We need to give the full and true expectation to the driver of what's going to be involved, because like I said, their mentality is if their wheels aren't spinning, they're not making money. But when we provide them, this is what we're paying you, we break it out so they know that, that 6 to 8 hours you're sitting on the back end or the front end, that this is the money for that.
Yeah.
So that there's not that question. Now, does it always work? No. Sometimes drivers are still like, I'm only supposed to be here 3 hours, and that's okay. We work on that. But no, Janet's right. But there's there is pluses and minuses to everything for sure.
Well, sometimes they park that truck out there. They start getting hot. They come in, they take the shirt off, they come in the house like, hey, when you guys done? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had that happen to me, not with you guys, the other guys.
I mean, and there's times where, hey man, if I Venmo you $20, will you unhook and maybe go get a sandwich or something? Yeah, okay.
Go eat something. You're just hungry.
Yeah. That's
you're
hangry. Let's face it, you're hangry.
Angry. Go get a sandwich. Mark says, how could companies sell it better, Ben, from the mover side? Mark, if it were me, if I were still in the selling moves business, I would walk into my client. I would show them 3 bids on every move. I'd show them a line haul and transportation, basically just load, transport, unload, standard delivery. I would show them a full pack, standard delivery, and then I'd show them full pack, expedited delivery.
Yeah.
So you have good, better, best. I would do that. I would show them like a matrix. I would show them something to the effect of, here's what it would cost you to get it in 9 days. Here's what it costs you to get it in 5 days. Here's what it costs you to get it in 3. Here's what it costs you to get it in 2. Because you guys could even probably hook them up with a team driver scenario.
If we needed to.
If you needed to, right? If there's money in it, right? Like
Yeah.
if I was like, I want my entire 4-bedroom home, in California in 36 hours.
We probably, every week we probably have at least 1 or 2 team drivers because it is an expedited need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would go to the account and say, because you never know, they might want it there faster. And it's funny, you could charge twice as much as the other guy and you get the job because that was the most important factor to them. And nobody ever thought to ask because they thought they were competing on price. Because they assumed that they were commoditized in the customer's eyes.
Right. Right.
I mean, God, you open up Uber. You got Uber X, you got Uber Comfort, you got Uber Black, you got Uber SUV, you got
Wait
Uber,
and Save.
Wait and Save. You got the whole, hey, you want to sit with somebody you don't know in an Uber? Got that for you too. Nah, not really. That's the cheapest option every time, and I've never used it in my lifetime.
Yeah. I don't even like sitting with the driver, but they're the ones
Yeah,
driving.
I'll pay for the Uber no talk.
Yeah.
Have you ever done an Uber where you sat with somebody else, like by design?
No, are you kidding me?
No, it's like,
No.
right? But that's on there. But here we are as a moving industry, just all we're doing is selling Uber side by side or whatever it's called. Uber
Right.
group ride. And
It
why
is
are we
hard,
selling Uber
though.
group ride? All we do is sell Uber group ride. All we do as a moving industry is sell shipment group ride. 3 shipments to a truck. And nobody wants that. We have a bigger aversion to being close to another human being than we've ever had in the history of mankind, and yet all we do is sell Uber group ride.
Right.
Nobody even wants to talk on the phone. They just text now, and yet here we're selling Uber group ride. Why are we not selling exclusive use? Why are we? We're in the Amazonification,
Expedited exclusive use.
Netflixification, drive-through society, and all we're selling is 4 to 9 day transit spreads instead of day definite exclusive use. Everything about consumer behavior in the last few years tells you they want to be by themselves and they want it as fast as possible. And all we're selling is slow and with everybody else.
You're
I feel
right.
like you got
Thank
your
you,
money's
Mark.
worth today.
Thank you, Mark.
You guys got your money's worth. I'll send you an invoice, Mark. This is fun. Richard Majewski says, how far will a haulage company use trucks before it becomes more economic than use a plane? No, there's a newbie question for you. He said, no, there's a newbie question for you.
Yeah, I mean, planes are just outrageously expensive.
Richard, you ever flown on a plane? I mean, 10x probably. I mean, that's what. Think about this: the cost to drive somewhere is, a tank of gas, 2 tanks of gas. A plane is probably 10x, 8 to 10x, just to move your own self.
Yeah.
So think about that. It's probably the same to move a shipment, I would bet.
Yeah. We don't do any air freight. So I'm sure someone listening does air freight, though.
Hosea does a ton of it.
Yeah.
Hosea's your guy.
Yeah. But I could tell you, you could probably go back and across the country full, pay for that on a truck, and still not even come close to what it would cost in an airplane.
My dad says, there you go, being innovative again.
Learned it from you. Learned it from you.
Richard says, has an entire truck ever been stolen or hijacked? Hijacked.
Knock on wood. Rhode Sense. No. But it's happening.
Yeah, it happens all the time. In fact, it seems like it's happening more and more that the trucks are getting hijacked.
It's
freight stolen.
It's really
fraud going on like crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a lot of times it's inside jobs. A lot of times it's someone that works for the company that's shipping it, and they work.
Yeah, this is like Goodfellas. It's like the Lufthansa heist. It's like we're doing this, like we're living the 1970s all over again. It's like what's old is new again. Somebody sets up a little it fell off the truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And all of a sudden you got a bunch of Toshibas out.
Well, in a couple weeks ago in Chicago, it was all over internet. They were stealing TVs off of a train, a boxcar on a train that was stopped. Well, somebody had to know the exact boxcar on that mile-long train where the TVs would be in, and sure enough, So obviously that's I don't know. Obviously, to me, that's an inside job.
Yeah. Perry Mason over here. Travis gives us the story. He gives us the real story.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I did. This is the sailboat. He says, it was scary. 32 feet sailboat. We hit ground at 5 p.m. and we didn't get rescued until 2 a.m. We couldn't walk. We had to swim to the Coast Guard boat. It cost $7,000 to float it and get rid of the boat. Then I turned around and bought another sailboat, but installed GPS. And Travis says, on the sailboat that sank, I also took Ben and his dad shark fishing prior to it sinking. Yeah, we could tell the way that thing was captained that it was just wasn't. It was any given.
I don't know. I remember hearing stories about only being waist deep and walking, but maybe that was the next day when he went back out to check on the boat or something like that.
Jack's over here schooling me. He says, Ben, regarding your true comment that our household good industry supports quote unquote slow and with everyone else is becoming more is because there's more profit in it doing it for the household goods industry. What do you think?
Not at all. Not at all. I will tell you this. I'm talking about my service.
Okay.
It's somebody, and this is kind of funny when you think about it, because
I love funny.
It's kind of interesting. A customer of mine last week told me, made the comment, and this I'm paraphrasing. I'm not using their words, but she made the comment, or they made the comment. Well, let's face it. Another reason you're a great choice is because you're cheaper than the traditional. So I make more money with you, Tim. So this is day definite load, day definite unload, expedited transit, exclusive use, and we're,
So I see your point, and I also see Jack's point. I think where Jack's going with this too is the household goods industry is a 140-year-old industry, and it's been set up that way. It's been set up where we have drivers, owner-operators, where we haul 53-foot household goods, high cube tractor trailers made by Kentucky Trailer, one manufacturer, and we can fit 25,000 pounds on that thing, maybe 28 if you're good, right? Mm-hmm. And our job is to fit as much tonnage on that one, trailer as humanly possible, and optimize the route and ship air as little as possible.
Yeah.
And to Jack's point, that's the way they're set up. And shipment sizes have gotten smaller and smaller. So whereas maybe you used to have one, executive on that truck, or two, now you have 5 shipments on that truck. Yeah. Right? Which means all the stops and unloads and reloads and stops and stuff. So it's getting harder and harder. And so he's right in that that's the way they're set up, and therefore that's the way their business economics, their business model is. Jack, I think that there's a chance to change the way you look at it, because when you look at a cost plus model with Tim's service, and you look at what the cost of an origin agent, a transportation agent, and a destination agent would be, from a gross profit margin standpoint, I mean, you could still make 25, 30, 40% if you, depending on these corporate rates, and I think that it's very viable. It's just a totally different model.
I'm in the wrong.
Yeah, you're in the wrong business.
I'm in the wrong business if you're with those kind of margins, obviously.
If you're the booker, but he who holds the gold makes the rules.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see here. Jack says, perfect paraphrase. Thanks, Ben. I got you, Jack. I loved your talk, by the way, at WERC. Give Jack a round of applause in the comments.
Sorry, I missed that. Yeah.
His talk was moving and gave me chills, made me cry. I love him. Give him a big hug afterwards. Jack, I love your talk. Thanks for sharing so openly. I know it's not easy, but you were not alone up there. Susie says, what are your thoughts on common carriers who are using Shipify or similar programs? Shiplify? Sounds like Shipley Donuts. Got me excited. It's a good donut, Tim. Don't laugh. It's a good donut. You're in Texas, baby.
Susie, expound more on that. I'm not sure what you're asking.
Yep. Let us know.
Yeah.
Travis says, you're right partially, Tim. We added a short distance because of the sandbar, but the Coast Guard had to stay in the channel, and we swam a short distance to get there.
Oh, Travis,
God, dude.
You're such a good guy.
This is hilarious, man. We want to save time for overrated, underrated. Let's see here. People are asking, and the Europeans are asking, why is the show at a different time today? The U.S. changes times this weekend. Oh, so they must have changed times over in the U.K.
Oh, I didn't know that. They change differently than we do.
Yep. Hit that like button. Appreciate all these comments. This is fantastic. Susie says, I think the biggest thing is properly consolidating and routing our loads, as well as ensuring we are only working with quality drivers to control the excess delays that occur with a lot of other companies.
You know, Susie, and that's a great point, and I think that's something we need to go into, Ben. We, at Rhode Sense, we have 4 separate systems that we use in carrier/driver qualification.
Yeah.
And it's we have one system that handles all the onboarding and make sure that they have the proper authorities and insurance and don't have safety violations and that kind of thing. And we have another that is a community based, that when there's issues with carriers or when the carriers are great, we'll post it in the community. And there's another one that we use through our insurance company. And then we also aggregate the data and we put it in for our carrier, in our system. We rank the carriers, and we'll always go to our quality carriers first. We'll always go. We have a every time a shipment comes in, we have a core that immediately we blast and say, hey, can any of you take this shipment? If they're all busy, then we go to other means.
How do you? I'm really curious about the ranking system, and we got time for one last question before we do overrated, underrated. Can't wait to do this with you. The last time we did a show together, we were in a sports bar in Rochester. We were eating chicken wings, and Tim was getting me to try the Jenny beers.
Yeah.
Jenny Cream Ale, Jenny Light. That was a classic episode. I highly recommend you go back and watch that. One of my favorite moments of all time was in that. There was a little grainy because the Wi-Fi wasn't super strong.
We had a bad Wi-Fi.
Bad Wi-Fi, but the audio was fantastic. And Christian said, "Where's over?" Hey, Christian, simmer down, Christian. Okay, the clocks haven't changed yet. Okay, buddy. People are laughing over here. Okay, we'll get to it. Fine. Susie's got the last word before we hop into the fun stuff. Susie said, regarding Shiplify, do you feel like those programs are beneficial or harmful to the industry? While they seem to promote identifying and reducing accessorial charges, but I feel like it's definitely increasing the rate of seeing these fees.
Yeah. There's a couple programs like Shipify out there that consumers can go on and put in their information and get quotes. But I just, when you're purchasing transportation, especially, chances are that anything that goes on that truck is going to be valuable to you or to your business in some way, shape, or form. You really should go to a transportation intermediary or a broker, forwarder such as Rhode Sense, because then there are a lot of questions you don't know to ask or you don't understand. We understand better how things are handled, and especially in the common carrier, the hub and spoke model, where it's on trucks and in a warehouse and then in another truck to another warehouse it's I think they do a disservice to the customer because they don't. The customer doesn't have all the knowledge they really should have to use those.
All right. Adrian says he played trumpet in high school.
Yeah, he did.
He received a full scholarship to an Ivy League school and turned it down. Which school? Because I didn't want to pursue music education. He majored in sports management instead and an MBA in business administration. Could have had an Ivy League education. Turned it down.
I didn't know Ivy League gave music scholarships. I would have applied to some of those, I think.
Now recruiting movers and shakers at Glomo, and we appreciate you doing that.
Adrian,
too,
you're awesome.
All right, last question for real.
Okay.
Jillian Guzda says, what's your favorite custard flavor?
My favorite custard flavor is chocolate. Straight chocolate. Nothing in it. Straight chocolate.
All right, let's get into overrated, underrated. You've waited this long. This one's for the Europeans. Overrated or underrated, it's a game we like to play. Tim, do you know how to play?
Yes.
We'll see. Let's hop into it. Overrated, underrated. First one up. Texas barbecue. Be easy.
Underrated.
The only correct answer.
Underrated.
It's hard to be underrated when everyone knows it's already the most magical thing you can ever put in your mouth. Why is it underrated?
because people still believe that North Carolina, Kansas City,
God.
that all these barbecues
my God,
that,
shoot
that
me in the
load it in
face.
sauce and have all this vinegar and all. I
Oh
tell you,
my
you've got a
God.
nice smoked piece of barbecued meat in Texas, dry on the plate. You've got the sauces on the table. You order green beans, there's bacon in them. Come on.
Praise the Lord. That's the only correct answer.
Yeah,
I
underrated.
literally almost got into a fist fight in a boardroom in North Carolina over this exact sentiment. The truth of the matter is, North Carolina barbecue sucks. It's basically sawdust, ketchup, and cider vinegar. Okay? At me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, it's one of the worst.
It's awful.
Sorry, I know.
Honestly, I'd feed it to cattle. That's what I'd do with it. I'd feed it back where it came from. I'd recycle it, I'd give it to the pigs.
There you go.
It's awful.
That's fair.
Texas barbecue is the best barbecue in the United States. The real question is, how does it compare to Brazil, Argentina, Spain,
Yeah, I've never been to those places to have it.
Jamaica?
So
People are getting in the. Mark Colmer says it's rated, verified, the best. Yeah, it's hard to be overrated when everyone knows it's already number one, or underrated when everybody knows it's number one. Jillian says, I was never a barbecue fan before moving to Texas. Hutchins and McKinney is way too good. It should be illegal. Jillian, talk to me when you've had the brisket. Emma Lowry, Texas barbecue brisket is where it's at. Emma, that is the correct answer. You actually have been awarded a raise, actually, courtesy of Rhode Sense, for your participation. Mark Colmer, Austin, Texas, barbecue, the heat. Yeah, y'all are all correct. Everyone wins. Rob Zeit says, next WERC, we should have a mobility trumpet recital. You ever play trumpet in, these days, like kind of professional?
The local symphony orchestra in my county, when they need an extra trumpet, they call me. Yeah.
What about, so I know Inigo Lopez, Maximiliano, John D'Ambrosio, they have this mobility light orchestra
Okay.
that they do, and they kind of travel. They play in Eura. They played at WERC a couple years ago. Like, what about like sitting in with like an ensemble like that, maybe at a conference? Would you?
I would love to do that.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're ready? Like you could just
I would
dust off
need-
the old horn and just step?
I mean, I
in?
play regularly, but for something like that, I would need probably 6 months to get the chops where they need to be.
Okay.
I mean, I play in church a lot. You know, Christmas, Easter, I'll play in church.
But that's not like that jazzy stuff. That's not.
No,
like
that's just, you just belt out the classics.
Yeah, it's like, oh, holy night or something like that. I don't even know if that was correct. All right, Texas Bar, you're 1 for 1, dude. Let's keep it going. All right. Trade show swag, overrated, underrated?
Overrated.
Wow.
100% overrated.
Kids everywhere are crying tears.
I know, Vinny's kids.
Vinny's kids. Vinny's poor kids aren't getting any trade show swag. Tim's the Grinch that stole trade shows. Why overrated?
I just think that, you always bring it because you need to have something on the table. And very rarely is there something that's really innovative that people like to use and will actually use. And then at the end, the boss tells you, don't come home with anything.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure out ways to get rid of it. And, it's just overrated.
It is true. There's a lot of junk that we print for these trade shows. We ship to these trade shows. We set out for these trade shows. People don't take it because it's junk. Then we pack it back up and then we ship it back home. Glomo participated in this tradition this year. And we good for you. And we blew out a whole bunch of swag that we had laying around. I like to think our swag was kind of premium. I mean, we had ceramic coffee cups with silicone on the outside. We had candles. We had fountain pens.
Ooh.
Like we had some kind of unique stuff. We had those lip balms, which are underrated because you need a ball of balm in your pocket. So,
15 SPF on those things?
Yeah, probably. Okay. Christian says I haven't paid for pens in years.
Well, you're gonna have to.
So much swag is all the same. Nobody needs that many pens. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you do super premium stuff, it could be cool. Mm-hmm. What we started doing is we actually just started doing gift boxes for our clients. I think you might have got one.
I did.
They're just these really thoughtful, mindful, demure, cutesy kind of boxes that we sent out. And, we spent probably $5,000 on it, but, it was cool.
I've been here since Monday. and I probably heard the word demure used 35 times.
It's core value. Jill says, I have to agree, Tim. It is a lot, but I'll say some stuff is super useful. Best swag, guys, put it in the comments. What is the best thing you've ever gotten from a trade show, swag-wise, or something? If you see it, you will get it every time. You'll pick it up. Put it in the comments. I want to know. We're crowdsourcing this right now. It's time to order again for next year. Lip balm with Texas barbecue flavor. How about it? How about it? How about them Cowboys? You know, all right, generally speaking, overrated, but there's a play here. There's an underrated play here, and I want to get to it. Put it in the comments. All right, you're 2 for 2. Next one up. Overrated, underrated, work in office.
Underrated.
Really?
Underrated.
Why you say that?
I have a friend who owns a business, and they were hybrid. I call it hybrid. Some worked out of the office, some work in the office, and they have
permanently out and
permanently
in?
out and
Okay.
permanently in.
Okay.
And every morning, they have a team huddle, and they had been having these for 2 years. Then one of the remote employees who had been on these huddles every day for 2 years moved to the home office and started participating in the in-person team meetings. Mm-hmm. And within 20 minutes, they came up with an idea that was a fantastic idea that they should have come up with 2 years ago. But there was something about being in the room, seeing the people, feeling the emotions, looking at the body language that allowed this person to come up with an idea that she had never come up with before.
Wow.
And if that doesn't tell you, I don't know what does.
No, it's a very mindful idea. It's demure. I love it. You know, for that reason, you can't argue with it. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. Mark says underrated. Yeah, isn't it funny how the pendulum has swung on this? Mm-hmm. You know, there's a time and a place for remote work, and it, you know, I get it, right? But I still think you got to have that nucleus in the office.
And in a perfect world, you know, my company started, we were all remote.
Sure.
In a perfect world,
where are you now, though?
We'd be able to, you know, we have headquarters in HQ has a couple people. We have a regional office in Charlotte, North Carolina has a few people, and then Denver has a couple people, and then the rest of the people work from home. But in a perfect world, we'd be able to figure out a way or a place where we could set up the office and we'd all live and we'd be happy and we'd all get to see each other every day. I mean, you know, I should say in Tim's perfect world. Maybe not everybody's.
Susie loves being part of a company where we are remote, but she misses the face-to-face time with the colleagues. Just like you said, there is something about being in person. Yeah. Thanks for the contribution. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. What are your thoughts? Next one up. Overrated, underrated. Smart TVs.
Overrated.
Wow.
100% overrated.
Overrated. See, I won't buy a non-smart TV. I won't buy a dumb TV. Why is it overrated?
Because with a simple Roku device or a Google
Fire Stick,
Amazon Fire Stick, Roku device, you've got everything you want. And if I go to a hotel or something, I can plug it in and.
Oh, do you pack your Fire Stick with you?
I mean, if it's a long trip and if in the family, especially is with maybe, you know, we gotta have the babysitters ready.
You know, the babysitters. All right. I just bought a whole bunch of TVs, right? I bought a new house, new TVs, a lot of new TVs. And I'm buying only smart TVs, and I'm not getting the Fire Stick.
Okay.
So the TV cost me, that was my show. TV cost me $400, $500. The Fire Stick cost me like $50. Mm-hmm. It's now a peripheral piece of hardware. Now I have 2 remotes to this television as well, which I don't like. I've noticed that Fire Sticks can get bogged down when they get low memory. They kind of get glitchy.
Yep.
And they have more storage for like games and stuff. I've been enjoying the native experience of the native apps in there because the new generation, they have my YouTube TV preloaded. They have my, you know, all my apps in there preloaded. This generation of smart TVs, I think, I don't know. I mean, now they may be obsolete in a year, so I don't know. Yeah. Let's see here. We got people saying, Adrian says Roku Fire Stick is a good idea for travel. Do you really bring that though, Adrian? Do you really? Mark Holmer, hate the remotes and they have the pointers like a mouse. Hate the remotes? Oh, hate the remotes that have the pointers like a mouse. Susie, I'm with Ben on this one. I definitely prefer having a smart TV. No, TV. Thanks, Susie. Appreciate my eyes. They're going. Let's see here. Agent says they're the same price. Put a lot of things from sports. The best athletes train with the other best athletes, not alone. All right, Christian. Me too. My Fire Stick is gathering dust somewhere. You know what, Tim? You might have. You gave up a run here, late here. You gave up a run in the fourth.
Well, they can't all be softballs. I mean,
no. This is a good one. You know what? I don't know. I think how do you say smart TVs are underrated? I won't say that. I'll just say you're wrong. Okay, you're wrong. You're wrong. My very good friend here. I have much respect for. All right, 3-1. That's the count. Let's see.
Ooh, just like the Yankees.
The fifth one up. Can he come back? Frozen custard, overrated or underrated? We know we got some ice cream loyalists out there.
100% underrated.
Really?
Underrated.
What about the ice cream people? What about the gelatis out there?
Go back to Italy.
Go back to Italy? Oh, man.
I don't know.
Oh,
no,
man.
I don't know.
No,
it's
you
underrated.
meant it. You said it. You meant it.
No, I didn't mean it.
Go back to Italy.
I was thinking about one in particular. No, just kidding.
Why is frozen custard underrated?
Frozen custard is the way ice cream is supposed to be. That's just all there is to it.
I feel like it's probably like the original recipe for ice cream was frozen custard. What makes it different? What's the difference between frozen custard and ice cream?
So low override. Okay, so
what is override?
The override is, for those who don't know, override is air, percentage of air in ice cream. Okay, so
how much air is in ice cream?
Well, your Perry your Breyers. What's a big brand?
Or Bluebell, baby. We're
Bluebell. Okay, Bluebell can have up to 80% and still be called ice cream by law of override, which is 80% air.
80% air
Well, your frozen,
in your ice cream?
Frozen custard is below 20% override.
How do they get rid of the air?
The process of how they make it. It's slow churned, and made in small batches. So you only make when they make a batch, they're only making enough they think that they'll be able to use in the next hour.
Yeah.
So it's always super fresh. And it's scooped. It's never out of one of these. No,
you're right about that.
It's got to be scooped.
Yeah. People think frozen custard, I think they're thinking like frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Or they think of like custard and then having somebody putting that and freezing it.
Yeah.
Like a custard pudding or something, and then somebody freezing it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The question is, though, who's got the best frozen custard? Put it in the comments. You like frozen custard? If so, if you discovered this marvel of the modern day world, who's got the best one? Put it in the comments. Tim, I got to ask you, as a frozen custard aficionado who once considered owning a frozen custard franchise, who's got the best frozen custard?
Abbott's.
Abbott's
frozen custard. Yep.
What makes Abbott's so good?
Well, when you're testing frozen custard,
how much time do we have?
You judge a frozen custard by their vanilla flavor. Vanilla with nothing on it. You put it in a cup. You use a spoon, so there's no other flavors. There's no cone flavor. There's no sprinkle. There's no topping. And you put that on your tongue. And frozen custard is warmer than ice cream. Okay, it's above freezing. It's 35, 38 degrees frozen custard. So you put it on your tongue, you let it melt like maybe a good sushi, right? A good raw fish. Sashimi. You're gonna let it cook on your tongue, okay? Yeah. And you let it melt, and then you taste it. You bring some air in, like you're cupping coffee. Okay, so that's how you taste it. And Abbott's frozen custard has the best vanilla, partly because they have their own vanilla fields where we're contracted, where the vanilla is grown specifically for them and nobody else. You're welcome.
I love the explanation, but I have to ask you, what about Rita's frozen custard?
Maybe the worst.
It's probably the worst. Honestly, the reason that they probably set frozen custard back in decades.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it weren't for Rita's, because Rita's has to be probably most people's first experience.
I would think so.
With frozen, because it's the most ubiquitous frozen custard out there. But it's probably also the worst.
Terrible.
It's terrible. It's almost like a What'd you compare it to?
It's not frozen custard.
Like
is the
an
thing.
Italian ice?
Yeah, it's exactly what
It's almost like an Italian ice.
Yeah.
And so now people are confused.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the rich, buttery mouthfeel of an egg-based custard. It's like
Egg yolk.
Egg yolk. Yolk-based custard. Tim should host a cooking show. That description of vanilla custard made me hungry. Yeah.
I'm always hungry, so
People are saying Abbott's. Mary Beth Pastore says Abbott's.
Oh yeah, Mary Beth knows.
Mark Colmer says Abbott's. Everybody's saying Abbott's, but there's something I got to tell you, Tim.
What?
This is where you're wrong. Not so fast, my friend. Andy's frozen custard. I know you want to go to Fist of Custard. You want to have Donnybrook. You want to take it outside of the sidewalk. We can do that. But I'll tell you this right now. Andy's frozen custard
Falls short. Culver's falls short.
We might skip. We're supposed to go to a happy hour today. We might skip the freaking happy hour. Go eat custard first. Because I cannot let you leave Texas without trying.
Let me ask you: does Andy's, do they serve anything else, or is it just custard?
Custard.
Okay.
Nothing. Oh, it's not like Dairy Queen or something.
No, like Culver's is a
Culver's,
big one.
the hamburger.
They have the burgers and the custards.
Get out of
so
my
Andy's
town.
is just custard.
Yeah, just custard. Too.
Okay.
Now they get
Can you
free.
ship
Now
it?
they get freaky with it because they'll put like a banana. They'll make a banana split out of a custard.
Oh, Abbott's will.
Okay, yeah. They'll throw a topping. They'll make a mix of concrete or a little blizzard type of
Abbott's,
thing.
same
Yeah,
thing,
okay,
yeah.
yeah. They'll put
Flurries.
They'll put some pralines in there. They did. You know what? I went there one time. You know what they did?
I don't.
They blended up a pumpkin pie slice into it.
Oh yeah.
An actual slice.
Pumpkin
of pie.
spice is a huge custard
They
flavor.
took a pumpkin
I
pie
understand.
slice and they put it in there with the vanilla, and they like hit it like one time, and then they served it to me, and I was like, oh snap.
Yeah. But see, the one thing you've never said?
What?
They have great vanilla.
Vanilla's my base.
When I open up and push back the curtains, and all is the flavor of the ice cream.
Kimono is flapping in the wind.
Then
and it's just vanilla.
All you're telling me is about all the extravagance, but you're not telling me about the custard. I'm telling you about Abbott's custard.
I sit
By
there
itself,
and I
you
watch them crank this ever-loving custard out of that machine constantly, and it comes out and it extrudes out like something that almost doesn't look like it should be viewed by the public, but it's just coming out, and it's just extruding in tubes of this rich 37.5-degree custard. Pure vanilla. What farm it came from, I don't know.
No.
Don't care.
Maybe it's artificial vanilla. You don't know.
Christian saying custard is equal to happier hour. Richard says I need to get out more. Do we even have frozen custard in the UK? Sounds great. Salivating here, low override. Richard, you don't have so many things. You need to not get out more. You need to come over here. Yeah. We need to take you get some brisket, dog. We need to finish that with a custard. We need to knock back a few, whiskeys. Like, do you know, how blessed we are to live in this country that makes us so fat? It is such a wonderful place to be.
It is.
The culinary delights on a daily basis are unrivaled.
And you're 100% right. But the sad thing is...
Just stop there.
The sad thing is when other people from other countries look at us, they think that all we do is worry about elections.
No, we don't give a shit about elections.
And worry
just
about
don't
shit like
encroach on our custard.
Yeah, but we're all, we...
Right to bear brisket. That's the right we're talking about.
I'm done.
All right, this has been a great show, y'all. Thanks for being here. We're running over, and we've really contributed nothing in the last 13 minutes other than get your custard, people. Wherever you get it good. Don't get it from Rita's. Hey, I love you out there. Tim, I love you, man. Love what you're doing at Rhode Sense. You're doing really cool stuff.
Great
love your team out there. It's great having you in the office. You want to leave us maybe with just a parting thought? Yeah, I'd like to thank you for giving me the platform. We had a lot of fun. We also talked about Rhode Sense, which is good. And I really think that, for being Love and Relo, for our relocation professionals that are out there, if you haven't looked into some sort of alternative transportation solution for your customers, please think about it. Give me a call. I'll be more than happy to discuss what we can do and how maybe we can become part of that program. And also, Ben knows very much of what we do too. So if you'd rather have it hear from a third party about us than directly, feel free to reach out to him as well. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Sounds good. And stay tuned tomorrow, same time, you Europeans, because we have Jana Shazanowski, our Director of Consulting, on tomorrow here live. We imported her from Brazil, from Rio, and she's going to be bringing that Copacabana energy tomorrow. Can't wait to do that on Halloween, y'all.
Woo!
So dress up, be safe, have fun, y'all, and we will see you tomorrow.